Hello and welcome to BISP Solution. And today's webinar is about Fusion Financial Fixed Asset Transaction Process. So let us move to today's agenda. In a day one, we got mass addition process in fixed assets, and we got a one manual addition, right? So what is a mass addition process? So it adds multiple assets automatically from the external source and creates asset from one or more invoice distribution line in Oracle Fusion Payables, construction in process, that is CIP, asset lines in Oracle Fusion projects, and Oracle information from other asset systems or information from any other feeder systems using the interface. You must prepare the mass addition to become an asset before you post them to asset. That is a mass addition process. And manual addition. So manual addition is a single asset by entering all required information and any optional information directly into an asset using the add asset page or spreadsheet. Generally, you use the addition asset page to enter a single asset and spreadsheet to enter multiple asset, right? So that is the mass addition process and manual addition. So financial business process model overview. So there is invoice to cash, in which we create customer invoices in the receivable work area, and that is account receivable, and we create a customer invoice, and against that invoice we enter the receipt against that customer invoice, right? So that is invoice to cash process. And there is a procure to pay. Out here we enter the supplier invoice. The supplier invoice, we record the supplier invoice, and on the base of term we make payments to the suppliers. So the things are performed in procure to pay is to record the supplier invoice and on the base of payment terms we make the payments of the supplier invoices, right? So that is the procure to pay, and we also reimburse the expenses to the employee from in the procure to pay. So that is our payables work area. Through payables work area we do this task. So in the asset work area we perform asset to retirement. So we in the asset we do the asset acquisition, we do the addition, we do the depreciation, we do adjustment and retirement. So that is the in the asset work area we do this task out there. And out here we also, from the mass addition process, we enter the supplier invoice and we validate the invoice and we mark the track as an asset in the supplier invoice line, and after validating the invoice we create accounting through which after create accounting we then transfer the asset line to asset book through mass addition process, and then out there in the asset work area we prepare the source line out there and register our asset through post the asset by providing the category of the asset, the depreciation expenses account, and the location, right? So that is how the things are performed in the application, and we transform the accounting by create accounting through subledger, and the data pushed to the GL. The numbers get pushed to the GL, and in the GL we create allocation reports, we prepare the financial reports, reports and forecast we can do from there. So basically this is the financial business process flow model overview. So asset lifecycle management, you can see the asset acquisition is the first step we do. Then we change category. So we provide the category out there. On the basis of the category, the depreciation method or depreciation convention method are attached to that particular asset category. So, and the locations we provide out there. So location, the change category, right? So, and then we change the financial detail. We can change the financial details. We can transfer the asset within the business unit or any location in the business unit, and we do the depreciation of the asset, and finally at the end of the life we retire the asset, right? So that is the asset life cycle overview. So at asset addition method, as you can see, the asset addition method are two types. One is manual addition. So you can manually add the asset in the asset work area, and through spreadsheet, using the spreadsheet you can enter the multiple asset in through AD FDI sheet. So we will perform a manual asset addition, and we will also test mass addition process through accounts payable. So in accounts payable mass addition process, you have got accounts payable through which you can enter the asset. Through projects you can enter the asset, or through external source system you can enter the mass addition process. So this is the asset addition method in the Oracle Fusion. In a bigger picture you can see asset to retire. So there is a purchase order. So we will do the purchase order. Today we will create a one purchase order. Through that purchase order we will enter the purchase details, purchase order details, and through there we will push that to the supply invoice. We will enter the supply invoice using the purchase order number. From there we will mark the invoice line with the track and an asset, and after track and an asset we will validate the invoice and we will create accounting, right? That is a very mandate one, create accounting. Then after create accounting, the data will push to the GL. After create accounting, we will run the mass addition process. After running the mass addition process, the asset interface table, it will get the asset line moved to asset interface table. Out there we will prepare the source line and add the asset to our asset book. So that will be today's, we will see that the CIP asset from Oracle project, we can add that also, and from FBDI spreadsheet from Oracle source system, you can add this also through asset interface table, right? So that is how the things are in the bigger picture. You can see the asset can be added into the application. In the asset work area, you can add, transfer, change financial details, and depreciation and retirement. We will see all those activities in the webinar. In coming webinar, we will do all these activities in the fixed assets webinars. That will be of 6 days webinar. We will do the addition, transfer, change financial detail, depreciation, rollback depreciation, retirement. So all those things we will do in the asset workbench area. So let's move to the next slide. So key job roles are, 2 key job roles are there. That is, one is asset accountant and another one is asset accounting manager. So asset accountant performs asset transaction including addition, adjustment, transfer, retirement, ensuring accuracy and compliances, verify the asset information, transaction details and accounting entries through inquiry and report. So this basically asset accountant can perform. You can customize the asset accountant role, but by default the seeded Oracle asset accountant role performs asset transaction including addition, adjustment, transfer, retirement, right? So these are he can able to perform the task in the asset work area, verify the asset information, transactional details and accounting entries through inquiry and reports, right? So that is the asset accountant. And the asset accounting manager manages the fixed assets department and personnel, monitors and perform asset transactions, maintain asset books and set up in Oracle Fusion Asset and view asset information and accounting entries, right? So that is the asset accounting manager. So let us navigate to the application or instance to see how the tasks are performed. So first we will do a manual addition in the asset work area. So let me log in with the credential. I'm logging with the KC Brown as a user. So we will create manual addition, right? So from navigator you can navigate to your asset work page. So that is fixed assets. There is an asset and there is an asset inquiry, right? So let us navigate to the asset. So assets, can navigate to the assets. So through the task panel, select the task panel, add asset. Select the add asset. So here you can see there is a CIP asset, capitalized asset, right? So there are CIP asset, capitalized asset, and expensed and group asset. So let us move to the PPT again. So fixed asset classifications. So you have seen that capitalized asset, right? So capitalized asset that are already capitalized and moved to the balance sheet and depreciate over the time. And if you see CIP asset, so CIP asset that are being built and will be capitalized later when they are ready to use. That is construction in process, that is CIP asset. And in expensed, if I move to the expensed, the asset type, the asset that do not depreciate and the entered acquisition cost is charged as an expense in a single period. So that is the expensed. And the group asset, right? So if you see the group asset as in a group, right? So if you create a group, a collection of a member assets, the member assets are individual assets that belongs to a group asset, right? So that is the group asset. Now let us create a capitalized asset first. So we are using the manual addition, right? So let us create a category, select the category. Let me select a one as a equipment office. Say OK. Provide the description. Say air cooler. Say it's a cost, say $150, and total unit is 5. The depreciation expenses account is populated, so you can see attached to this particular category. So depreciation office equipment is there, right? So that is the expense account. Now let us provide the location out here. Select the location, search. So I want in my US country as state or county as Washington, and the city is Seattle, right? So for that I am selecting the place. So the location, you can add the asset out here directly or say next, right? So you can submit that immediately, it will create an asset. Other, you can go to the next and provide more details to that. So next, the cost is there. In service date, I provide the service date. So I will provide the April as my service date, the 1st of the April, and the tag, you can provide the tag number. So I say cooler 01 as the tag. You can provide the serial, or you can say manufacturer as Samsung, and the model I can provide TX10, the model, and the owner. Out here the location, you can provide the employee name, right? So you can provide the unit, you can split the unit out also out here, and the depreciation convention which is attached to this category is populated out here, right? So straight line method with a 5-year life cycle, right? So life cycle is of 5 years with a straight line method. And salvage percentage, can provide the salvage percentage, say 0.05 is the salvage percentage, and the pro rata date it's providing. If you have grouped that particular asset, you can provide the group asset number. So we will create the group asset also and see and test that particular case also. So I have provided the salvage percentage as 0.05. Go to the advanced ruling. If you go to the source line, it is a manual, we are adding the manual, so there is no source line, right? So submit the asset. So it's ready to post. If you go to the ready to post, you can see the asset is ready to post and queue is new. Just hold on. Just hold on. From the Springboard, I can navigate to the fixed assets in the asset work area. So you can see the asset get posted. Let us inquire the asset through under the general. I can go from here also, and I can navigate to asset inquiry also. Through using the asset inquiry, I can view the addition of the asset. So go to the recent addition. So you can see the asset number it has generated and the description. We have add the asset, right? So that is the asset, and the number is 112704. Asset number has been created, and you can see the asset book value. So roll-up depreciation has been reserve has been created since I have added the asset in 1st of April. So the catch-up depreciation from April to June has been calculated. So that's why 7.5 depreciation reserve is already calculated, right? So that is the net book value, recoverable value is there. So net book value after the depreciation is 142.50. And if I go to the source line, there will be no source line is there. And if I go to the depreciation has not been calculated. And if I go to the transaction details, so you can see the addition we have done and it is transferred to our asset book. So that is the transfer in to our asset book, right? So that is how we will see that. Go to the description detail. So if you go to the description detail, we have provided these details, right? So that is the details, transaction, cost history. You can view the cost history also. So this is the cost history, right? So effective period from April, right? So that is, and let we run one depreciation now. So let us navigate to the asset again, asset work area. So my depreciation is July. This is the open period, and from here we will select the calculate depreciation. From here you can see the period close date. My book is US crop and the book class is corporate, and it is attached to my US primary ledger. And out here there is complete addition is 3 and completed retirement is 1. So if I go to select that, it will navigate to that particular addition. So you can see this addition out here, right? So done. 3 additions are there. Out here there is calculate lease expenses and calculate depreciation, right? So let us calculate the depreciation now. Let us calculate the same. Just refresh the page and let us again from here complete addition, select the asset, add the asset number, and if I go to the depreciation, so depreciation it has calculated, right? So you can see the depreciation, right? So that is, we have not done the accounting, create accounting, so the depreciation has been calculated. Now this way we can add the asset, and from the task panel add assets, add asset. So we have used the capitalized asset, right? So we have used the capitalized asset. You can create a CIP asset out here, and the asset number will be created. Under that particular CIP asset, you will add the asset manually. You can add the asset one by one, or using mass addition process through payables or through project or through external sources. We can add the CIP assets in our book, that is US crop book, right? So you can create a group asset. Using that group asset, you can create a one asset group, and with that particular group you can group all the individual assets in that particular group asset, right? So that is the one, or we can create the group asset. right? So let us create a mass addition process. So for that we have to navigate to payables. So let us create a first purchase order. For purchase orders, from the navigator, go to the procurement. So create a purchase order. I am not going through the purchase requisition. I am directly creating a purchase order. You can create a purchase requisition, and then through the requisition, then you can create a purchase order, and through the purchase order you will, in the two-way matching, you can use that particular receipt, right? So using the receipt two-way matching method, and then we will record the invoice using the purchase order. So let us create first purchase order. So create order. So that is the purchase order, and I will provide the supplier name as Dell. Create that. And check that particular pay on receipt. Select that particular payment terms and add the lines. So I will select the good, and I will provide asset number as AS0. Let me search with that. Let me select any one of the things, say internet security. Just take it one example of that, say Oracle internet security, or just search with that name as computer. It's better to use that one. Just computer, search with that. Here we are, computer. Right, so, and the supplier item is desktop computer. Right, so quantity I am saying 10, and the unit of measurement is each, and the price is say $66.50. No, out here I am not providing the OEM price. Just hold on. The base price I am providing. Any discount if you want to provide, you can provide that. So total, everything is okay. Provide the request delivery date. I am providing the request delivery date is today's date, and the promise date I am selecting tomorrow date, or you can say, or either you can provide any one of that, request date or promise date. So I am providing the promise delivery date is tomorrow. You will provide that. and the destination type is expensed, right? So I am selecting the expense, and matching is two-way matching. I am using the two-way matching, and the invoice matching option is on receipt, right? So let us select on receipt. We will create the receipt of that particular material, and we will provide the PO charge account. Any expense account I will select. Let me select PO charge account should be an expense account. So let me select say miscellaneous. I'm selecting as a miscellaneous. It should be provided by the as a PO charge account, and it should be grouped under the expense. Right, so I'm providing the transaction business category as purchase transaction, as a goods. Go to the schedules. Let me check it out. Origin, expensed, and say none, and the delivery is standard receipt, right? So I am selecting the standard receipt, and the matching level approval is two-way, and the matching invoice option is receipt, right? So charge account we have provided, and if you go to the distribution, so this is the distribution account, right? So let us save the same. It gets saved. Go to the manage approvals. So Anita Kennedy will be approving the same. So let us manage approvals. So somebody has changed that. Let me change the same. Let us navigate setup and maintenance. I have already saved that. So let us navigate to the setup and maintenance. Go to the procurement, and out here approvals, and out here the purchase document approval. So go to the purchase document approval. So let me edit the same. Hold on. Yes. So disable this, and I enable this term, right? So I have already, since it's a demo application, so somebody has changed this. So what is the rule? Basically the rule I have created, that requisition is business unit US1 business unit, the document order between $1 to this amount, it should be approved by Anita Kennedy, single approval, right? So save the same, deploy, and done. Now let us navigate to the purchase order. So purchase order, manage purchase order, manage purchase order. So you can see here two incomplete purchase order. Search with that. So we have created this one, right? So let us select that. The status is incomplete right now. So edit the scene. And if we go to the manage approvals now, so you can see the Anita Kennedy will approve that. I am submitting this from here itself. I am submitting the same, and this PO will be approved by Anita Kennedy, right? So PO was submitted for approval, right? So let us copy the same, and we will log in with the Anita Kennedy, right? So let us log in with another window as an Anita Kennedy with Anita Kennedy credentials. Out here you will get a notification that is action required, approved for purchase order number is US 164770. Just hold on. This is not our order. Go to the more. Here we are. So this is the purchase order. It's take a bit of time. So this is the total value of the PO, and we have selected the computer as the live computer. So assigned to the Anita Kennedy. I am approving the same. Say approved and submit the same. So Anita Kennedy has approved that purchase order. So let us again navigate to the let search with this particular purchase order. Search the same. It will status will be open, right? So status will be open, right? So let's see that the status is open. So you can see Anita Kennedy has approved that. Now after purchase order, the material you're going to receive, right? So that material received, since we have on the receipt basis, we can enter the invoice in the payables. For receipt of the material, we will go to the supply chain execution. So inventory management, go to the inventory management. From the task panel, the receipt, select the receipt, receive expected shipment, go to the received expected shipment, select the purchase order, provide the purchase order. So this is the purchase order, search the purchase order. Here we are. So purchase order, select that same, and out here receive. So destination type, you should very careful. It should be expensed, right? It should be expensed. And I am saying show receipt quantity. If you show a receipt quantity, it is 10. And I have to provide the delivery location. So my location is Seattle. So that is the Seattle location I am selecting. And create receipt. So I will create the receipt, and destination time should be expensed, right? So that is the very mandatory one. Otherwise, it will be treated as an inventory, right? So it's an expensed. Submit the same. So receipt 52422 is being created. Let's done with that. Now let us navigate to the payables work area and invoice workbench. To record the invoice, from the task panel, we will create invoice. Out here I will provide the PO number, that is PO number is this. So this is the PO number, and the invoice, I will provide the invoice as, and the amount. So this is the amount, and say computer, and the payment term as this is the payment term. In the lines, select the line out here, right? So select that, and so you can see the order quantity is 10, available quantity is 10, you receive the 10, right? So say apply, okay. So you can see out here the lines, and go to the distribution combination. Out here you will go to, and there is as a track and asset. So if you go, here we are, track and asset, select that track and asset. This is the lowest level, right? This is the lowest level. So track and asset, and select your book. If you select the book, it will go to that particular book, right? So you have a multiple lines, you can have a multiple books, then you can track the asset accordingly to that particular book. right? So save and close, and out here an asset, just drag that and provide the US crop and save the same. So if you go and see, it is not validated, so we have to validate. Let us validate the same. And after the validation, we will post to ledger, right? We will post to the ledger. It's a very mandate one. Then only we can able to run mass addition process. You can view the accounting, right? So accounting has been created. So let us navigate to the tools and see the process has been completed. So you can see the process is running. Create accounting, right? So let us it has been succeeded, right? So it's running right now. So from schedule new process, you can run the mass addition process, or through payables workbench, that is invoice workbench, you can run a mass addition. I am using the mass addition. Create mass addition process. Say OK. Select the accounting date. I am providing the today's accounting date and the book. Submit the same. Just refresh that. So create mass addition is running. It gets succeeded, and the create mass addition report, you are waiting for that. So it gets succeeded. Let's view the report. So let me navigate to here, republish. Go to the export, go to HTML. There we are. So line has been moved to asset interface line. So let us navigate to the asset work area. So go to the fixed assets. If you go out here, you can see the computer what we have entered out there. From here, the queue is new. We will select that and prepare the source line, right? So from here you can prepare the source line, or through here itself you can prepare that. So these are the lines. This is the tax lines are coming, and this is the material line, right? So that is the material line. So let me change this queue to post, and in service date I provide the service date, say July, 1st of July, and asset type is expense, not expense, it is CIP, right? So computer hardware, so I am correcting the category also, it is not on a computer hardware. You can see, just search with that, or say computer. Let me search. Here we are, desktop. I am selecting the desktop. Say OK. Okay. Some issues with that. Or say personal computer. So that is the PC. Say OK. Just hold on. It's a computer hardware. Okay, I'm done with that. Computer hardware. So you can provide the tag as any tag you can provide out here. So I'm providing any tag out here. Say it's HP, and the manufacturer is HP, and the model I would provide one model, DSK. Can provide that is not a necessary, that is not a mandatory one. And out here the salvage amount and the value, salvage percentage is 15%, right? So, and the straight line method attached to that is 3 years, right? So, and if I go to the source information, you can see it is coming from payables, right? So that is payables is my source, and I will provide the location. I will provide the location out here. So let's search. I will select as my location as Seattle office, right? So select the Seattle office and save and close. Right, so it's ready to post now. Select that and post all. So asset addition was submitted, and it will add to my asset book, that is US crop book, right? So let us re-navigate. Go to the asset inquiry. Here we are. So that asset has been added. The asset number is 112705. That is computer, right? So we have added. If you go to the financial details, So this is the financial details. The current cost is this one, the original cost is this one, the net book value is this, and the salvage value is this. The life is 3 years, right? So we have added this in month of July, right? So that is prorate convention. And if I go, just hold on. If I go to the source line, so you can see the all are coming from Oracle payables, right? So if I go to the cost history, and if I go to the depreciation, there will be no depreciations. We have not run the depreciation, right? So current period depreciation, we have not run it out. So transaction, go to the transaction, you can see the CIP addition, right? CIP has been added and transfer into my book, right? So this way, in today's webinar, we have seen mass addition process as well as manual addition process, right? So thank you for joining this webinar. Have a nice day.